All right, we are here live at Hyde Stadium. We're getting set for the ball game, and we are ready for the ball game. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean, and if Zach Nelson and DT Meyer can hear me, make sure you pull that my pod all the way down so we don't go over the air for you guys over at KCCR. The first pitch is upstairs for ball one. We're underway at 9:03 here at Hyde Stadium, as it is Ridge and Hofer, the first hitter for Sturgis, to open up the ball game. Sturgis lost in a walk-off hit to Mitchell. The 1-0 is taken for a strike one, and it's now 1-1. We're watching this weather, and of course, if you're looking at us on the live stream, obviously that's the only way that you're hearing us right now is over on the YouTube channel, as that is a lot of dark clouds above us. Now 2-1 is the count, as that one's upstairs. We'll go through the starting lineup here in just a second actually, we'll go through it right now as Cade Hinkle will make his way and talk with Gray Zabel. David Anderson will bat second. He's playing right field. Dylan Gillespie is the third baseman batting third. John Fisher will bat in fourth and playing first base. Golden Crushake is the DH batting fifth. Zach Hess is the catcher batting sixth. Owen Goss is the shortstop batting seventh. R.J. Andrewski is the second baseman batting eighth. And Dustin Allen is the left fielder as he bats ninth for the Sturgis Titans. Here's the 2-1 from Gray Zabel. That one misses, now 3-1. Greg, this is going to be tough to try and get as much of this ball game in as possible, because I don't think there's any way we're going to be missing this storm that's coming through.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a matter of minutes before we're going to be headed for cover.
3-1 is over for strike two, and because of that, we will keep the YouTube. We'll keep it going. We will try and find a good spot. We're going to have to close the windows, obviously, if we could get a rain delay or a lightning delay, but we'll try and find a spot where you can at least see what's going on in the field and don't have to look at our ugly mugs. 3-2 is a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Gray's able to open up the ball game of Ridge Enhofer, and that will bring up David Anderson, the right fielder, here for Sturgis.
Gray Zabel on the mound tonight for post 8. Comes into the game with four appearances, 15 innings total. He's 2-1 on the 1-0 on the year. 1.87 ERA, 15 walks and 18 strikeouts in his 15 innings of work so far.
First pitch is over for strike one to the number 2 hitter, David Anderson. I'll say Gage Murphy is his counterpart in Gray Zabel, the other man on the mound, as Zabel is in the batting order here for game number 2. The 0-1 pitch, that one's outside, about 1-1 here to Anderson. Sturgis and Mitchell played a very long game in game 2. In game 2 that saw Mitchell win in a walk-off single after Sturgis tied the game up at the top of the 7th. Mitchell ended up winning 6-5. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This is low, now 2-1. And we've dodged a couple of lightning bolts from the last several games. There's a couple of games that we dodged a little bit of lightning. This game, there's that first lightning that really is seen, as it's now 2-2, has almost got to stop us because the storm is heading our way right now.
Yeah, there was at least out of the corner of my eye, I saw a pretty big lightning bolt just before first pitch was thrown, and it happened that both umpires had their backs turned to it, so neither one of them saw it.
Here's a 2-2 pitch outside, 3-2 to the left-handed hitting David Anderson, playing right field here in game 2 for both these teams. As Mitchell, they split the 2 games. Post 8 trying to go 2-0 here in the triangular. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That one's fisted up over the mound, and it'll be fielded by the third baseman. Keenel's barehanded the throw to first is not in time, and it'll be a 1-out single. And that one's just a hit him where he ate, and there's not a whole lot anybody could do. A Bermuda triangle between the mound, shortstop, and third base.
Yeah, and there's just, you get into that dead zone right there that's just over top of the pitcher's mound and just kind of in that area between the shortstop and third baseman where you just cannot make a play. There's just not enough time for those fielders to come in and make a play on the Speedy Anderson coming out of that left-handed batter's box.
First pitch misses upstairs to Dylan Gillespie, the third baseman. Pickoff attempt, and back in diving safely is the runner at first and Anderson. John Fisher is on deck. There's one down here in the top of the first inning. Post 8 playing now their 26th game of the season. 17-8 on the year right now. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. A runner is off for second. The throw is Going to be caught near the midsection of Andrew Coverdale, but wasn't no chance for a tag, and Anderson will steal second.
I keep bouncing back and forth between my Game Changer app and my Weather Channel app tonight because they're both very important right now.
And we will keep an eye on what's going on here right above us in the clouds. 1-1 pitch is outside now, 2-1. Had it posted on our sports Facebook page. The way the weather was moving, and we're within a couple miles here of seeing some rain shortly. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2 to Gillespie. Zabel got the first strikeout to open up the ball game. Looking for his second. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Pitch in the dirt. Hinkle up to throw to first. He will get the man at first, and moving to third on the throw is Anderson. So he is now at third, but there's now 2 down in the inning. And that's the second strikeout for Gray Zabel.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part, even though they recorded the out, Post 8 did, the unfortunate part is that because the ball got away from Hinkle, he had to throw down to first base, and that allows Anderson to move from second to third. Now he's just 90 feet away here with 2 out in the top of the first.
First pitch from Zabel is going to get to the backstop, and coming home to score will be Anderson. And Sturgis has opened up a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. I'll bring in John Fisher. And also want to say, too, that we got to get through a certain portion of this game. We can't just say after the top of the first inning, if we do have a lightning delay, that Sturgis is going to win. It has to go through, I believe in high school, still the 5th inning for it to be a complete game, just like you can't win with a 10-run rule after 4 innings. You have to play 5 innings. So it's still a long way before we get a complete game in here. That one's fouled away, and it's now 1-1.
Yeah, and so it will be interesting to see what the decision will be, assuming that we do get that rain, and that certainly looks likely. But it'll be interesting to see if the game is called, or if they decide to try and wait it out for a while to see if the field might be playable at some point.
1-1 is going to go off the helmets of Fisher, and he will head down to first. And with a 1-1 count and 2 down here in the inning, Fisher is on at first. Golden Crushank will step to the plate. And Greg, I don't know. I keep looking down at my score sheet and seeing what seemingly is some lightning above us. But so far, we're still playing.
Their special weather statement just came out from the Weather Service at 9:03, saying Doppler radar was tracking strong thunderstorms along a line extending from Stone Lake to 7 miles southeast of Went, moving east to 25, wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. No talk of hail, at least in that one, which is a good thing.
The first pitch is a swing and a miss to Golden Crushank. Yeah, right now the only severe thunderstorm warning is for Jones and Stanley. As we continue to watch, but that weather is getting closer and closer to Pierre. We might have to pull the camera inside and have to close the windows here if we need to, which will kind of limit the view of those that are watching. And glad you could join us here, and hopefully you have an eye on the radar just like we do, and we'll keep you updated as well. There's a pitch that's going to get in the dirt. It's going to go all the way to the backstop, and on the 2-strike swing and a miss, it's going to be a strikeout, but Crushank's going to get to the first anyway. So it's the 3rd strikeout of the inning for Zabel, but there's still 2 down. And it'll bring up Zach Hess.
And it's potential for Zabel to record that rare, but certainly possible 4-strikeout inning.
You just hope that that's where it ends. To try and get a 5th strikeout or a 6th strikeout. 1-0 is our score here in the top of the first inning. 2 down. First pitch is missed low for ball 1 to Zach Hess, the catcher here in game number 2 for the Sturgis Titans. Zabel from the stretch. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's chopped over the mound. The second baseman, Coverdale, he'll flip to the short bag at second, and he'll record the out, and that will end the top of the first inning. And because there are no commercial break, can't have the commercial breaks played right now. We're going to keep it here. And John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And we had one run on one hit, no errors in the inning. There was one man left on base as we have played that half inning. And Greg, Post State is going to try and get this doubleheader sweep, or this 2-game sweep here in this triangular.
Yeah, and Sturgis comes into this game with a very impressive record. Last I looked, I didn't see what it was earlier today, but I know that they have played a lot of games so far. Let me just see if I can pull it up real quick. But you and I were talking off air in between games that a lot of their games have come against sub-varsity type teams. I mean, like the Junior Legion team from Post 320 and a couple of other sub-varsity type teams. They come into this game at 17-7. And we talked about it. It can be a little bit of a challenge to find baseball teams that are within reasonable distance of Sturgis out in western South Dakota. So it's give them credit for putting together a pretty aggressive schedule so far. We'll see what kind of quality Sturgis has here when they take the field here in the bottom of the first.
And as you can probably see on the YouTube page and the YouTube feed, that it's probably raining right outside right now because all those fans have moved inside the canopy there to take cover and to stay dry. And you can really see it as you can see. Look at the lights a little bit. Obviously, you can kind of see it a little bit on our on the YouTube feed as well. And that's what we're going to be dealing with for quite a while, is a lot of rain, even with the lightning around the area, which has not caused us any kind of delay yet. But that rain is falling here for right in front of over here in Pierre. Boy, there's some reddish clouds that are starting to come over us here. First pitch to Garrett Stout to lead off the bottom of the first inning is over for strike one. So it'll be Garrett Stout's, Lincoln Keenol's, Andrew Coverdale, Andy Gordon, Gray Zabel, River Iverson, Matt Lusk, Jack Van Camp, and Cade Hinkle. As that one's fouled back, and it's now 0-2 to the leadoff hitter, Garrett Stouts. Yeah,
and I would expect that you can play through some of this light rain, but if the lightning comes or if it starts coming down much harder, I suspect that the umpires will probably be pretty quick to pull the trigger on this.
They can smell the rain now here around Hyde Stadium, as it's going to come down for quite a while. And there is some lighter rain behind what the heavier stuff is, but that heavier stuff could be tough to try and play around. Lincoln Keenol's will step to the plate. Takes strike one here as he bats in the number 2 spot for the second straight game. Went 1 for 3, had a 2-out, 2 RBI double. As that one's ripped into center field. That one will drop in for a base hit. And there's the first hit of the ball game for Post State, as Keenol's is now 2 for 4 on the day.
Keenhol's coming in hitting 167 on the year, 10 hits and 60 at bats, 3 doubles, 8 RBIs, 3 runs scored. But you can tell that he is, he's kind of gone a little bit in spurts so far this year. And when, he'll get a little bit of confidence, and then, and like every other baseball player, you kind of tend to go in spurts.
Boy, rain is really falling here at Hyde Stadium. That one's foul over down the right field line. That might drop in for a hit. It will. And Lincoln Keenol's will round second. He's on his way to third. Coverdale will end up at second. He's got himself a 1-out double, and a second and third with 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up Andy Gordon.
Yeah, and one of the real things that the umpires have to be a little bit concerned about, not only is the lightning, but that's a clay mound, and when that clay gets too wet, it gets real slippery, and so you really have to be concerned about the pitcher when they plant in their delivery, that their foot may go out from underneath them, and that's a potential injury factor.
First pitch is over for a strike one to Andy Gordon. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He'll foul it at the plate off of himself, and it's now 0-2. And the rain continues to fall here at Hyde Stadium, and we're trying to play through it. We've played at least half an inning. Sturgis has a 1-0 lead. Here's the 0-2 to Gordon. Checks his swing, does not go. Now 1-2 to the first baseman. Gray Zabel is on deck. He's the starting pitcher. This is potentially his last game here for Post States. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Gordon goes down on strikes, and there's now 2 down on 2 strikeouts for Gage Murphy. So here's Zabel, a chance to drive in 2 runs. And we're having a discussion here between the 2 head coaches over the third base side. First pitch bounces in for ball 1.
Zabel coming into today hitting .411 on the year, 23 hits, 56 at bats, 3 doubles, a triple, 15 RBIs, 15 runs scored.
1-0 pitch, outside, 2-0.
And he's a base hit away from adding 2 RBIs to that, with 2 outs here and in the bottom of the first and runners on second and third.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Inside, 3-0 to Zabel. On deck is River Iverson. They got a base open, so they can be a little cautious here to Zabel. But with Iverson on deck, it's not going to be much easier. 3-0 pitch. Zabel on the 3-0, out towards center field. That's far, that's gone. A 3-run homer for Gray Zabel. And it's a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, what a fitting if that might be his last at bat at Hyde Stadium. What a way to go out. That's almost storybook right there, John.
A no doubt home run from Gray Zabel, and it's a 3-1 Post State lead here in the bottom of the first with 1 down. An absolute shot out to center field.
And if you know Hyde Stadium, the fence in straightaway center field actually comes straight across from the gaps in both right center and left center. The signs at left center in right center is at 378, left center 383, and the shot from Zabel went just to the right of the flagpole in dead center field, and that thing cleared very easily. That had to be, I'm not kidding you, that probably had to be a 400-foot home run.
As we are going to be in a rain delay, but also as Coach White took his helmet off and tipped the cabinet over to Sturgis, that might end up being the game. So it is 3-1 right now here in the bottom of the first inning, as we are in a rain delay here at Hyde Stadium. But Gray Zabel with a shot out to center field and made it a 3-1 lead, as here's all the Post State players.
They look like a major league ground crew the way they're running out there with the tarps.
And we were joking about trying to look like a major league ground crew out here, and Bill Van Camp was going to be running out trying to chalk the lines real quick. And but these guys up here in the press box need to take note of how fast these guys got the tarps on the mound and home plate, as it's a 3-1 lead for Post States here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. I think kind of looking at maybe the radar and seeing what we're going to have, and would assume that right now at 9:21, that 9:51 would be the chance. I don't know, that give a lot of hugs to Gray Zabel right now, so that might be the ball game itself. Because usually you don't try and hug the starting pitcher like that until you know that he's completely done. And so we'll see. The umpires are going to make their way up here, and we might be able to ask them real quick what the plan is. Are we going to continue to play? We're completely done. So, okay, so the game is going to be called. It is going to be a 3-1 stoppage, and I would assume that the way the schedule is, how compact it is, we will not make this game up, but obviously we will let you know what might happen here for going forward if they do make this game up at some point this season between Pierre and Sturgis. So as we got through almost a full inning, we will end our broadcast tonight. So we'll kind of try and jump over here over to the KCCR as we're on the YouTube channel, but we'll try and jump over here and let those guys know that we're going to be done for the night here at Hyatt Stadium as now wrap things up. Greg, thanks for joining me here tonight.
Absolutely. It was a blast.
It was a blast for one game. Post State wins 7-2 in the game one, and they lead 3-1 after the first inning. Maybe we could come back and try and play this at some point. Have it 3-1. Graves Zabel probably will not be able to pitch, but he went one inning and got one done. As Coach Nas is telling us for sure that we are done here tonight, as that will conclude the ball game, and we will be back on the air on Monday as Sioux Falls East and Minot will be in town, as we'll have those games for you. For Greg to my right, I'm John Winkler. Have a good rest of the night. Stay safe as we end our ball game here after the first inning because of lightning and rain. What's that? Oh, what? I've never asked you to help to pick anything up before. Can you help me pick this? No, I'm just kidding. Stay safe.